The Seventh Day Adventist Church is a Christian denomination that started in the 19th century. It was formed during a time of great religious revival in the United States. The founders believed in the second coming of Jesus Christ and were influenced by the teachings of a preacher named William Miller. When Jesus did not return as expected in 1844, many left the movement. However, a small group remained and formed what is now known as the Seventh Day Adventist Church. Some people wonder if the Seventh Day Adventist Church is a cult. This is usually because of how different some of their beliefs and practices are from other Christian churches. For example, they worship on Saturday instead of Sunday. They also have strict health guidelines, including avoiding pork, alcohol, and tobacco. To some, these things may seem strange or extreme, especially when compared to more mainstream churches. However, just because a group has unique beliefs doesn't automatically make it a cult. A cult is usually defined by controlling leadership, manipulation, isolation from society, and often dangerous practices. When we look at the Seventh Day Adventist Church, we do not see most of these signs. In fact, they are a well-organized denomination with schools, hospitals, and millions of members around the world. Their teachings are based on the Bible. While they do have some extra interpretations, such as their views on the Sabbath and the health message, they still believe in Jesus Christ, salvation through grace, and many other core Christian teachings. This makes them different from groups that are clearly outside of Christianity. One of the most influential figures in the church was Ellen G. White. She wrote many books and was considered a prophet by many Adventists. Some critics say the church focuses too much on her writings. But most Adventists see her as someone who gave helpful spiritual advice, not someone who replaces the Bible. Adventists are also known for their strong emphasis on health and education. They run many schools and universities. Loma Linda University, for example, is a famous health sciences university in the United States. They also promote a vegetarian lifestyle and encourage exercise, rest, and good mental health. Many studies have shown that Adventists live longer, healthier lives because of these practices. The church also places a strong focus on mission work. They send missionaries around the world to provide education, healthcare, and spiritual guidance. This shows a desire to help others, not to control or isolate people, which is often a trait of cults. Another important belief is the soon return of Jesus. Adventists believe that the world will not last forever and that Jesus will come back to take his followers to heaven. While this belief might sound intense to some, it is actually common among many Christian groups. Critics sometimes point to the church's strict lifestyle rules and say that these are controlling. But most members choose these rules voluntarily. They see them as a way to honor God and live a better life, not as burdens. This is different from cults where people are often forced or manipulated into obedience. The church allows members to question, study, and leave if they wish. There is no forced loyalty or punishment for those who walk away. Members are encouraged to read and study the Bible for themselves. And many enjoy open discussions and debates. In fact, many Adventist churches are open and welcoming. Visitors are often invited to join Bible studies, worship services, and community events. There is a strong sense of fellowship and support among members. Like any large group, the Seventh Day Adventist Church has had its share of controversies and issues. Some people have experienced rigid leadership or pressure to conform. But these experiences are not the norm for most members. Every religion and organization has its human flaws. Scholars and religious experts usually agree that the Seventh Day Adventist Church is not a cult. It is recognized as a legitimate Christian denomination. They have official doctrines, structured leadership, and accountability. They also work with other Christian groups and are involved in many humanitarian projects. Calling a group a cult can be harmful and unfair, especially when that group has millions of sincere followers who simply want to live their faith. It is important to understand a religion fully before making such judgments. Words like cult carry a lot of weight and should be used carefully. In the end, the Seventh Day Adventist Church is not a cult. It is a unique Christian denomination with strong beliefs and a deep commitment to faith, health, and community service. People may agree or disagree with their doctrines, but they are far from being a dangerous or controlling group. So, if you've ever wondered whether the Seventh Day Adventist Church is a cult, the simple answer is no. They may be different, but they are not harmful or manipulative. They are a global Christian community trying to live out their faith in a meaningful way. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this deep dive. If you found this interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Catch you in the next one. Peace and blessings.